Hey bakers, we have the ink out today and we're going to make 4 loaves of bread. Now we've done some large batch challenges with other mixers and it's time to give the ink a little bit of its run for its money. This I think can do up to 6 loaves, but I don't want to make that much because I really don't have to do with that much bread. But we're going to go ahead and do 4 loaves in this Ankarsrum. So join me. Let's make some bread. So you might be saying, what's up with this mixer? This mixer runs on a different kind of platform than what we're used to in a standard planetary mixer as well as a Bosch. This mixer runs on a roller system. So with the Bosch, the bowl is stationary and the dough hook goes around the bowl. With the ink, it's the exact opposite. The bowl goes around and your kneading mechanism is stationary. This moves because of the bowl. So this is the roller, and how this works is this is like your little fingers, right? And when this is hooked up, so we're going to pull up this pin, we're going to put the roller on here, and we're going to drop the pin. And how this works is, let me turn this on. We did a review of this mixer, but a lot of people are still, this mixer takes a while to get used to. How it works is the dough goes between this roller and the edge of the bowl here. So the dough is going to go around here between the roller and the edge of the bowl. And it simulates, kneading of your hands instead of like a dough hook that goes back and forth and kneads dough that way. So we're going to start it out with the roller next to the side of the bowl because we want to mix the yeast with the water. Once we start putting the flour in here, we're going to move the roller out a little bit so the dough can go between the roller and the side of the bowl. And the goal is to get this big donut going around in there. So the dough is going around and it's being kneaded by that against the edge of the bowl. And so that's our goal. Now, people always ask me in bread making, what are the exact measurements? And the thing is, when you start making bread, you might want exact measurements, but one thing I can tell you, bread making is based on the skill of the baker. So that's why there's a human involved in bread making, because bread making is an art as well as a science. So there's no way I can tell you exactly how much water and flour that we're going to use. We have general guidelines. We are going to be making 4 loaves of bread. So we're going to be using like 12, 13 cups of flour. It could be 11, it could be more. It depends on the humidity, how dry your flour is. It depends on your mixer. It depends on all that stuff. The ink tends to like doughs that are a little bit more hydrated so you can get that donut going around. Unlike other mixers, you can do it a little stiffer. If you want to do a stiff dough in this, you want to use the dough hook. So we have our roller in here. I'm going to move this back to the edge. And just for now, this is your scraper. I'm going to go ahead and put the scraper in there. So I'm going to add some water. So I have 4.5 cups of water here. So we're going to go ahead and get this in. Yeah, it's warm water, but we're going to be using instant yeast. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be super warm with instant yeast. It can be just tap water. So our ink is spinning our little water around. So I have 4.5 teaspoons of instant yeast, and I use SAF instant yeast. I'll put a link down in the description. You can get it on Amazon. So I have 6 tablespoons of sugar. Ooh, right? And my yeast was cold. So I'm just going to turn this up and get a stir going on this. So one of the things with the Ank is when you have this all the way to the side, it's going to touch the bowl and the bowl is going to spin it. As we add the flour, like I said, we're going to be moving this out. When you move this out and tighten it down, it can't go farther than where you've tightened it, but you can push it forward to help get things moving in there when you have the flour in there. So I just got a little mix in there. I'm going to put some butter in here. And this is 4 tablespoons of softened butter. So you want to get a little fat in there. It's going to soften your dough. Some people use canola. Some people use lard. Some people use, regular oil, olive oil. It will tenderize the dough and make it a little softer. And if you want more of a crusty bread, you want to leave the fat out of it because it will make it, it'll be a lean dough. So I'm going to put the rest of the sugar in here. And have fun with your bread, right? Woohoo, look at the Ank. The Ank doesn't play around. Look at that. So, I'm going to start adding flour. And I still have it back against the wall as we start putting flour in here. As I get more flour in, we're going to be moving this around. So your mixture is going to get a little soupy. And to mix it up, you just move your dough. You can, move the paddle. You can move it all you want like that. And how much flour we use is a judgment call of the baker. And it's based on the feel of the dough. And I'll show you how we want the dough to feel. So we're starting to get a knead on this. We're starting to build our dough a little bit. I'm going to move it out a little bit. If you don't move it out, you're going to have, your dough is going to come up out the side of your machine. We got a little bit of a soupy mess going on in there. That looks good. How much flour are we going to use? It's going to depend on how our dough looks, right? And we want to get this donut going. So you see how we're starting to get a donut form in there? And the kneading action is between this roller and the side of the bowl. The dough is going in between those two things. How far you have this out from the edge of the bowl, you just really have to watch your dough. And see how it's spinning? It's spinning like a donut. It's looking good. I'm going to move it slightly closer so we get a little bit more roll on that roller. And I have it down. I just barely have it above the minimum. You want to judge your knead based. You want to judge the position of this based on how it's kneading it up against the wall of that it's still really sticky. So as I put more flour in here, I'm probably going to have to move this a little off the edge. So I've put in like 3/4 of the flour. I'm going to go ahead and put in some salt, and yeah, and then we'll continue to put in the flour. Still got our donut going. Feel that. Let's feel it. It's a little sticky. One thing you can see is those little lines on the roller sort of help that kneading process. See how it just sort of gently does that? Okay, so it's been kneading for a little bit. It looks pretty daggone skippy. Let me get this out of here. Ooh. It's a little sticky, but I'm leaving it sticky because I like to put a little bit of flour on the board, and I don't want it to become overly stiff on the board. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this out, and it's looking pretty good. I mean, I could have gone 2 more loaves with this really, really easily. Yeah. Okay, so what's great about the Ank is it comes with this little lid. We're just going to put this lid on here and let it do its first rise. So we'll be back in maybe a half hour or so, or at least when it doubles in size. So, yeah, we're on our way to some really nice bread. So we'll be back. So it's been about a half hour, and since we used instant yeast, it has gone absolutely crazy. Woo! Look at that. Okay, so let's see if we can get this out of here. I'm just using this little scraper, dough scraper. Makes it a lot easier to get it out of the bowl. I didn't really grease the bowl any, so it's sticking in here a little bit more. Wow, this is like the blob.
That was only 30 minutes.
Well, instant yeast can go crazy. It's engineered to do that. I think they use it in bakeries, like, you know, you buy like a lot of grocery store bread.
Wonder bread?
Yeah. Because just like poof, one rise in the oven. It's faster. Yeah. Okay. Wow. So, this is a blob.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put a little bit of oil on the board. I should have done that first and on my hands. Wow. That's a lot of dough. This is, I don't know if I want to add too much more flour to it. It's a little on the sticky side.
How does it feel?
Feels fantastic. It's like, boom, look at that. See that? That's just gluten right there. I can't knead this big old thing. I think if I can knead it a little bit, it'll just get a little bit smoother. Wow. Still a lot of air in it.
Punch it. Come on, Boo. Pretend I left my shoes in the middle of the floor again. What do you want to do to it?
It's a big sucker. Look at that. Ank made this sucker. Woo! He did a great job, too. So I need to get a scale, so let me get one. So let me put all this dough in here. 5 pounds, 10 ounces.
So it's almost 6 pounds. So you're gonna need a little more than a pound.
So it's like a pound and a half.
Pound and a half, maybe.
Bread. I don't know if I just want to make 2-pound loaves and then make rolls out of the rest.
Sure.
What do you think, Boo?
Sure. Do a couple of pounds for loaves and then just a little 1 pound worth of other stuff.
£2 loaf?
It's up to you.
Wow. The ink is awesome.
How did you zero it? Is it still good?
Yeah. First, let's make us a loaf. It's slightly sticky. There's still air in it. So one way you can make a loaf is just flatten it out like this. Flatten it out. You can kind of even roll it if you want to. Roll it like that. Pinch it. And then you can stick your finger in here and pinch the end. I want to stay together here. Stick your finger in there and pinch the end. I didn't knead it too much. And then we're going to pan it, press it down in there. I don't feel like kneading it out too much, so we're just going like that, right? So we got our 2 loaves of bread here. I covered them, and I actually ended up making 10 rolls. I put them in this muffin pan. It just makes it easier to bake. Come out kind of strange shape, but it'll be okay. So we're gonna let these rise and then we'll bake them. So this is my very first use of the Oster French door oven. We're going to bake the rolls off in here. So right now it's preheating, and as soon as it's done, we're going to be putting these rolls in here. The bread's going in the regular oven, so we're getting there. So they're browning away. I think they're almost done. Ooh, look at our little babies. Let's get them out. Okay, bakers, look at this. We have a whole bunch of homemade bread. The Ank did a great job. So I got just like 5 pounds and 5 3/4 pounds. So if I would have broken them up into actually 4 loaves, we would have had they would be just under 1.5 pounds. That's pretty much where you want, your loaf. I decided to make these 2-pound loaves because I have these big, large size USA loaf pans that these really are better for 2 pounds. So I did 2 2-pound loaves, and I did all these rolls. And I think some of these rolls have already been attacked. I think one disappeared. Nice. Beautiful, beautiful crumb on that bad boy. Beautiful, beautiful butter on that bad boy. Beautiful, beautiful taste. These are so good. I wish you guys could be there and taste these. Because they taste as good as they look. Ank, you rock that bread.
And you had room to do more.
Yeah, I could have done 2 more loaves. I think the gentle kneading process, the really managing your hydration. I can't really exactly tell you how many cups of flour I had 13 cups and I may have used like 10 and a half. I don't know. It really depends on your flour, the day of the week, whatever, right? That's just what you have to develop your skill in judging. That's so good. Yeah. Amazing, right? All of this homemade bread we made right in the Ank. So if you like this video, please subscribe below, hit the bell so you'll be notified of our new uploads. If you want to take a look at the Ank, I'll put links down in the description. We will be having more recipes with that bad boy. You can check this recipe out. It'll be out on my website, amylearnstocook.com, as well as you can catch me on social media at facebook.com/groups/amylearnstocook. And you can catch me on Twitter and Pinterest at Amy Learns to Cook, and Instagram at Cooking with Amy. So delicious.